through your freedom.
You want answers?
I think I'm entitled.
You want answers?
I want the truth!
You can't handle the truth.
Like the sands through the hourglass, so were the days of our lives. Oh my gosh, welcome back to the Prepared Mind channel, folks. I was thinking yesterday afternoon that today was Friday. I did one of those fast forward things in my head where I got ahead of myself. Not with SHTF, but just with my perception of where we were in reality. Remember, folks, they're always, they, meaning the powers that be, they're days ahead. That's a lot of sands in the hourglass. They're days ahead of us in what they're doing, what their plans are, what they're executing. And when we could rely on the mainstream media, I know from fact, when I served as a Marine, that these people only put on the news what they're told. And it's days after the events, days and days and days. And that was back in the 1980s, that era, the 80s, 90s, when you could almost rely on the media. Now you can't. These people are well ahead of us, so I sometimes get ahead of myself, keeping up with them. And thank you for supporting the efforts on Patreon, PayPal, CashApp, etc. You guys keep us going. You pay the bills. Make sure I've got lots of spam in the old pantry. Good stuff. Anyways, sands through the hourglass. So are the days of our lives, right? Remember when your parents, or maybe even you, didn't have enough drama in life? You're like, hey, I'm going to watch a soap opera. I'm going to watch a soap opera and get some good old-fashioned drama / entertainment. Well, if you want drama, folks, if you want entertainment, all you have to do is turn on the Prepared Mind, right? Because we're getting all the drama we can handle, right? Now, I mean, if you want modern bullshit entertainment drama, you can watch Will Smith bitch slap Chris Rock. But folks, while the world was sleeping, while the Sandman sprinkled those sands in their eyes and kept them asleep, real things are happening. Now, we discussed days ago the World Economic Forum members who were attending the World Government Summit. And these people, folks, they are not our friends. This is why you must be prepared with food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine, means of self-defense, and a plan. I cannot let up on that message. That is number one, because we can't affect things on that scale and stop Klaus Schwab. Because the only ones that can stop these bastards are government, because they have the power to regulate them. But government is bought by them. So until we can control the government, we can't control these bastard organizations. And we can't control government if we can't get an honest election. And we can't get an honest election unless we control the means of the election to allow free and fair elections. We can't control that unless we control the election boards, the election machines, the election system. You can't control that until you have an election to get your people on the election board. See where I'm going with this? And we can't do any of that if we're not actively participating in the process, political, social, and then media. And this is where we're at, folks. We're basically coming off the bottom as far as our activism. We have to get active, prep to action. We have to take action. If we do not, we're not going to get any activity on our side. We're not going to get any motion. We're not going to get any control at the smallest levels, to get control at larger levels, to get control of our lives, folks, our country, at higher levels where we can get people to give a shit about our country and stop these bastards at the top. So we're a long way, right here at the beginning, we're a long way from being up here in control of our own lives and destiny again. And that's what these bastards have put in the way. From the very bottom all the way to the top, they have set up obstacles and objects and organizations in our way, from election to media, to politicians, to bureaucracy, red tape. You know, you can't just elect a Trump. You can't just elect a DeSantis or a Governor Abbott and then say, go in there at the very top, right close to these bastards and fix it. We've now demonstrated that does not work. We wish it could, because that's the most powerful man in the world, the president. All we got to do is get the president. No, it's a lot more than that, folks. That's why SHTF is going to take a decade and longer. And you need to be prepared. Okay, so yeah, while we're asleep, while the Sandman, kept the world asleep, and while the sand slipped through the hourglass, right? These people don't quit, folks. The World Government Summit. I'm going to share with you a few more thoughts of theirs so you can understand exactly how screwed we are and what their mentality is. See, and that's just it. Their hubris, their arrogance, their overconfidence in their program and their success comes from the amount of power they have. But it is also giving us a look inside, right? Like Klaus Schwab, Soros, Gates, and others of their evil ilk. They allow us, folks, now to hear from their own filthy mouths what they are thinking, planning, and doing. And we should always, always pay attention to their gatherings. Right? And we covered them last week and talked about some of the money systems, some of their other programs. And don't worry, they're going to continue to talk. Whether it's at Davos or the World Government Summit, it is the World Economic Forum members, the Bilderbergs, folks, the members of the technocracy aristocracy. See, they quit calling themselves royalty and just assumed positions of power behind corporations, banking structures, investment, family, they call them family offices. It's where their billions and billions are held. There aren't just a couple of billionaires, folks. There's a lot of them. Oligarchs, right? They're evil if they're Russian oligarchs, but they're good guys if they stand in Europe and the United States. Not necessarily, folks, not at all. Because let me tell you what Klaus had to say. Remember, Klaus is the leader of this organization, and he is espousing his desires, his wants, his plans, his thoughts. Here it is. Now listen to this, and then I'm going to go back and tell you why you better be prepared, because they're not stopping. Quote, technology is creating new possibilities as it simplifies processes, enables instant feedback, and ultimately improves customer experience in the public sector. Digitalization and artificial intelligence are creating a new model of governance, invisible governments that are more agile, responsive, human-centric, and data-driven. In this session, global policymakers and experts will share their bold vision and experience in utilizing technology to eliminate bureaucracy and innovate government services for the future. Flowery words, folks, magnanimous sounding ideas. Oh, streamlining and improving processes, and it's quick, it's responsive. Let me just step back and look into this, folks. Enables instant feedback. That means instant changes to their instant programs of manipulation. What is this about? This is the narrative. How do they instantly take advantage of any situation to, quote, ultimately improve customer experience? We, you and I, are not the customers of these global corporations. Their customers are their partners in crime, their partners in power. They are the customers who want an improved customer experience in their control of these apparatus. See, it's not the world, it's the apparatus he's talking about. This technology is owned by his partners. This technology is owned by them, and they are the customers, and they want a improved customer experience in controlling the world. Now, he goes on to say, in the public sector, that's private businesses, digitalization and AI are creating a new model of governance. Folks, governments are supposed to be elected by you and I so that we control it because we are the sovereign and we are the people. No. a new model of governance created by the technology that is owned by the partners in the World Economic Forum, Klaus and his buddies. They want a new model of governance that they can control. And how he actually calls it, folks, invisible governments that are more agile, responsive, human-centric, and data-driven. That's right. They want data analysis, and it's driven to control humans, not for our benefit, folks, but for the customers. And the customers are those who own the technology, who are the partners in the World Economic Forum. Has nothing to do with you and I other than to treat us like human cattle, human resources. That's it. They are the customers of the machines they're creating, the AI, the technology. Now, in this session, global policymakers and experts will share their bold visions. Doesn't that just sound so fucking cheesy? Well, agile, human-centric, right? Global policymakers means globalist politicians, because a politician is a policy maker. And we're talking on the global scale, and the policy makers, the politicians, are put in office by Klaus Schwab, George Soros, Bezos, Gates, etc., who fund, direct, and make demands on these people and have control files, like Jeffrey Epstein stuff. They want to utilize technology to eliminate bureaucracy and innovate government services for their future. So they want to utilize technology, as they described how it works, how fast, how good, and how in their control. They want to eliminate bureaucracy. In other words, they want to remove government humans. Remember all these people that we go, okay, cops and bureaucrats, they all think they're part of the team. They all think they're on the winning side. They think they're in the club. No, they're going to be eliminated as discussed. They're going to be kicked out. Machines and thinking and decision making will replace these humans in bureaucracy. Government jobs will be slashed, removed, gone, done. People will go up to a computer terminal, push a few buttons, and the computer will decide what they must do, their fate, etc. No longer, folks, will a bunch of paper pushing fat asses in their vinyl chairs in the bureaucracy and their masters with the leather chairs be in control. They want to make post-constitutional decisions in their new world order because they're going to have a great reset to destroy everything and install their AI elitist controlled technocracy where they are the oligarchs secretly governing us. It's coming, folks. They have to destroy everything, which means SHTF for you and me. Understand it and know that we're going to be in the fight for our lives, a struggle to continue to exist. I mean, why blame a mayor like dumbass Beetlejuice Lightfoot, or a governor like Cumho, or Gretchen the Grinch, or even Gavin Neutron Bomb Newsom? Why even blame them when they could just say, the computer made the decision, that's what we got to go with? We can't even blame a human. You can't elect a computer. You can't elect the process, the system, the technology. Just like the voting system, well, it's a computer. What are you going to do? It's there. We can't control that. Yes, they can. They control the program behind it. Who's in charge of making the programs, controlling the programs, and creating them and instituting them and modifying them? Because it's instant feedback. Simplifying processes, ultimately improving the experience, for the people in charge, streamlining bureaucracy and eliminating it, making faster decisions. Yeah, their bold vision, folks, doesn't mean you're free. Their bold vision is to control with the least amount of issues. And by the way, the least amount of humans needed to keep the system going. Never forget their depopulation agenda. Never forget the Georgia Guidestones. Never forget people like the Booster Rooster, Bill Gates, and what they have said publicly, folks, about population and about what's best for us. Folks, chance favors the prepared mind. Is yours. Are you ready for what's coming? Because it's happening. It's happening right now. We're going to cover every facet of it. And thank you again for your support in making this happen. Without you, I'm not here. Without your support, we can't put the time and effort into decoding what they're doing so we can be prepared for what is coming. Chance favors the prepared mind. Is yours. Godspeed. Semper Fi.